Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back. Today I've got a bit of a different video for y'all. We're gonna talk about why Meganium, the grass type starter from Generation 2, and my personal favorite of all time, is considered one of the worst Pokemon starters, and why it desperately needs a buff in future games. So first off, let's talk about Meganium's role as a defensive Pokemon. On paper, Meganium is designed to be a bulky, defensive Pokemon. It has really decent stats, 80 HP, 100 defense, and 100 special defense. But here's the kicker. It's actually not really all that good at being defensive. So a pure grass typing, while being a great counter to mons like Amoonguss, we see it in Terra all the time, Terra Grass, specifically for that Spore or Sleep Powder immunity. It's really not a very good defensive type though. As a mono grass type, Meganium has 5 weaknesses: flying, poison, bug, fire, and ice. That's a lot of vulnerabilities for a supposed defensive Pokemon. Now, its defensive stats might seem respectable, but it's way too easy to take down. Fast flying types and powerful ice type moves like Ice Spinner and Triple Axle, they make short work of Meganium. Not to mention Flare Blitz, for example. Even an Incineroar could take down Meganium without too much trouble. And don't forget the fire types can really easily burn it, ruining any chance it has to be effective with moves like Earthquake or Body Slam. Speaking of Meganium's move pool, it's not exactly impressive. Most of its moves are geared towards support and status effects. We're talking about moves like Leech Seed, Poison Powder, Reflect, Protect, and Synthesis. And while these moves are useful in some scenarios, they don't really help Meganium stand out. Compare that to Pokemon even like Toxapex, which is also not very used in VGC. It has moves like Toxic, Scald, Baneful Bunker, and even Recover to bring its health back up. Meganium's toolkit really kind of feels lackluster, even as a stall mon built for dealing passive damage when you compare it to other mons in the same role. Also, the idea of Meganium as a sunsetter with its hidden ability Leaf Guard to keep itself safe from status effects like burn and paralysis seems cool in theory, but in practice it's usually better to have a Pokemon with Drought to set up the sun automatically rather than relying on Meganium to set it first, or even have, of course, a Prankster Sunny Day Pokemon to set up that sun automatically at the beginning of the turn rather than waiting for the much slower Meganium to set it up. So here's where things get really frustrating. Meganium has suffered from generational neglect. While other grass starters through the years like Venusaur, Decidueye, and Sceptile got cool new forms, abilities, or mega evolutions, Meganium got Leaf Guard. That's it. Imagine how amazing a Mega Meganium or a Hisuian form could have been. Now, speaking of Venusaur, let's compare. Venusaur has the additional poison typing, which adds a whole new layer of usefulness and resistances over the mono grass. Plus, Chlorophyll allows it to be a fast Sleep Powder user to totally disrupt opponents' game plans. By the way, Meganium doesn't even get Sleep Powder. It gets Poison Powder, but not Sleep Powder or even Stun Spore. So to sum it up, Meganium is caught in this trifecta of issues, right? It's a defensive mono grass type, it's got a really terrible move pool, and on top of that, it hasn't gotten any updates throughout the generations. It tries to be a bulky wall, but it just doesn't have the stats or the moves to back it up, and other grass starters simply just do its job better. So what's the solution? How can we fix this? Meganium definitely deserves a buff in future games. I think we can all agree on that. I propose an update to its move pool combined with a new hidden ability. So let's replace Leaf Guard with Harvest to allow Meganium to stay on the field much longer and really allow it to make the most of its passive stall tendencies while also keeping the theme of Meganium getting a additional buff while in the sun. Also, it should get more of the standard grass type powder moves. Sleep Powder and Rage Powder would both give Meganium a niche as a bulky support grass type meant to stick on the field for a long time and disrupt opponents' offense. Now, y'all know, I'm a big fan of Meganium's design and concept. Chikorita is my favorite Pokemon of all time. It's a great Pokemon, it's got a lot of potential, but it needs some help to really shine. Maybe in a future game we'll see the changes it needs to become a true powerhouse. So what do you think? Do you think that Meganium deserves a buff? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Pokemon content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!